John. Now, as you're talking about culture and chemistry and vibes in that sense, you know, you've been fortunate, obviously, playing with the Nationals, the Phillies, the Red Sox. You've played with various teams as a player. You've been in different ballparks. But what is Philly like in terms of being part of the Phillies, being a part of this environment as a player, that in terms of when you look back, what it means to you? Because I think a lot of people lose that of being in certain cities and certain franchises. It's different. It's a different environment. But as a player with the Phillies, how would you summarize being a part of this franchise and this club?
Okay, so to me, those environments mean everything. It's number one reason why I signed in Philly. I was a big believer that I could not thrive in any other type of market. I just felt like I knew myself, and I wanted to go somewhere where expectations were high from the fan base and from the staff and from ownership. And maybe it's good I didn't have Twitter back then and I just now started doing Twitter. But, you know, I had made a comment that, you know, I didn't come to Philadelphia to lose. And I think some of the fans took that in a little bit of a wrong way until they kind of realized, oh, shit, man, this guy, he came here for the same reasons that we wanted him to come here, is to come kick some ass. Now, unfortunately, we had Ruben Amaro at the helm, and he had the keys to a Ferrari, I feel like, and it kind of wrecked that. Did we have injuries? Yeah, but he was given a pretty good payroll to work with, and somehow we couldn't win. So, you know, I know injuries have to do with that, especially throughout the course of the season, but I did not expect to come back. I really thought I was going to win 2 more world championships.
Yeah, and John, as you talk about the incident with Bryce and even your own incidents that helped shape you, you know, outside of winning a World Series, being an all-star, all the different accolades, there's a maturation process mentally that has to happen as a player. And as you talk about the evolution as your career is progressing, you touched on it a little bit, but what really helped you become that dog? You know, that having that mindset of hating losing more than you love winning and wanting to go into everything, doing anything you can to possibly win. What really helped that transition for you to be that type of a winning mindset that you would do whatever it takes to help your team win?
So for me, there was no transition. That's a really good question, actually. I like that question. There was no, I think my transition was over years and years of childhood, over the environment I was brought up in. My mom's a 3-sport athlete. My brothers all made it to AA. There was, if you did not finish first at dinner, there were no seconds. You know, it was just, the competitive environment that I was brought up in was just, I think, at a level 10. And so for me, that dog, and, you know, I joke about this, but me and my brothers have kicked each other's ass way more than what me and Bryce got into. You know?
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. So that growing up that way, I think, had a big effect on me, and constantly competing with my brothers. You know, and you see that, how you look at the Mannings and you look at a lot of other families that play sports like this and have all boys. I think that's how it was for me.
You and I are more like, I think, than out of anybody here, because I definitely am that same personality. I'm sure you guys can agree. So I know we've been talking a lot about movies. We're going to transition out of baseball a little bit, and this is probably going to be the toughest question for you. Hope you're ready. There's been a lot of talk in the chat. We were talking about Hallmark movies and Paul Walker and all types of movies. What kind of movie guy are you? And I'm going to actually take it a step further. If you had to have a movie about you, who's playing
Kenny
Jonathan
fucking Powers?
Who's playing?
No question, Kenny Powers. Yes, you nailed that. Yes. In fact, I used to get a few Kenny Powers jokes when that was a big Eastbound and Down was big.
I love that.
So my teammates used to kind of call me that too. But yeah, you know, for me, growing up, you know, you see this is actually the award the Phillies gave me when I broke their all-time saves leader. It was off the set of Terminator.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
I'm a big Terminator guy, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger guy. In fact, I actually worked out with him, and I put on Twitter that I was lifting more than him, but, you know, he's 40 years older than me. Yeah, so, you know, for me, I'm a big, you know, Terminator guy, but I actually watch more documentaries, and, you know, I'm a Sasquatch believer, an alien believer. So.
Aliens 100% exist. Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, the league has been having a lot of hot stove changes, signings, movement that's been happening around Major League Baseball right now. John, if you right now are going into Major League Baseball, take this question out for you, like, which team would you want to play with today? And don't feel like you have to be biased because it's a PHLY Phillies podcast. Which team would you want to join today? And which player would you want to play with that maybe attracts you to want to be on that team?
That's an easy question. The Phillies. I want to go do part 2 with the Phillies and actually win this time and play with Bryce again as who he is now. And even Rob, the manager, man, I love his style. I do. I like his style. I think the players gravitate towards him. That would be a part of my decision as well. And yeah, no question. That would be my choice.